has been neglected.
Yes. Come on, guys. Okay, so we're going to you next, right? Okay. All right. Welcome back from that break, and we are glad that you're still with us here on UBC Radio Inspiring Uganda. Young and Smart is the program that you are listening to today. Today I have a very interesting guest in studio, because Ivan, Prosi, and Gift, and my name is Laureen. The discussion we are having is about the vaccine that came into the country just last week, and recently the Minister of Health led by example and was the first person to be vaccinated in Uganda. Now, the question that we're asking this afternoon is, will this vaccine solve the youth problems in Uganda? We heard from Ivan, who said no. We've heard from Prosi, who also says no. Now, Gift. I'm anxious to know whether you're going to turn the table or jump onto that wagon as well.
So,
honest thoughts.
Yeah, honest thoughts. Thanks, Laureen.
Yes.
Normally, I like looking at things in a twofold way of judgment. My answer to that is yes and no.
Why?
This is the reason why.
Yes.
The COVID-19 virus and the entire story that came after it,
yes,
brought a lockdown in Uganda. A lockdown physically. There was no movement of vehicles, there was closure of shops and every business and every industry, and then there was also a psychological lockdown. When you spend, for people who stay here in Kampala, where it's traffic jam from morning up to morning, that has an effect on your brain. When you're in the city, your brain thinks at a high speed. When you go to the village, because of the calmness around, even your brain tends to calm down. So now when that calmness takes a period of 1 year because of the lockdown, it becomes imprinted on your brain. So among the youths, we always had a problem. There was unemployment, there was frustration. As I told you, there is that question. You remember even the slogan of President Museveni and NRM was securing your future.
Yes.
I think part of the reason why they chose that slogan of securing your future, the youth have a question: is my future secure?
Yes.
So as an answer to that, that's the reason they were bringing slogans of a renewed Uganda, because people have a lot of frustration that was even worsened by the COVID-19 era of the pandemic and everything that came with it. So the reason why I think the vaccine will answer some questions that have been in people's minds, especially the youth, is at least it is a ray of hope. Formerly you would say, I will not put my body on the line because there is COVID. There are certain jobs I'm not going to do. I'm not going to interact with 100 people because there is COVID. But when I'm vaccinated, at least I have that belief in me. I have that psychological confidence in me that if the virus comes to my body, there is already immunity against it. So that one is going to encourage me if I've been fearing.
But have not been fearing because they have been in this politics languishing and making rallies.
So likewise, I would also think it is God-given. Naturally, Ugandans are risk takers, and it is very good in entrepreneurship. They teach us.
Yes.
A country that has to thrive economically, people must not fear risks, but also not being fearful does not call for recklessness. So even after the vaccine has been administered to the majority of the youths, it does not mean that now we put our body on the line and say, come on, I can
hug and do it.
Everything. Like
throw your mask away.
Yes, like there was a situation where you would find that someone, I like talking about the university because this is the world I am in now. This is the world my friends, my colleagues, Profi and Ivan are in now. The truth is, there remains a lot of questions in these university students' minds. We are studying those courses. We love them. Me, when I was enrolling at university, when they told me you're going to do a Bachelor's of Arts with education in English language and literature, it was a heavy word. I felt it.
You're feeling yourself and you thought the word is yours.
Yes. There are times you read, someone tells you their course and you feel like this guy is going to work with the United Nations. Like these science courses, he will tell you I'm studying gynecology and obstetrics, and you feel like these people are going to manufacture maybe robots that help women in childbirth.
Yes.
But afterwards, now after that steam, that vapor in your head comes down after the first year, you December, Chambogo graduates students in December. You go for the graduation, you see your friends because you have been staying with them in hostels. You see your friends, you have known them before, you have seen the way they were okay. By June the next year, you meet someone and he has even sold the phone he had, which was about 400,000, and now he's holding a phone of 30,000.
30, 20.
Even 20, and it's tied with a rubber band. And then you ask him what happened, and he tells you the world is different from campus.
Yes.
And now that's the time you start realizing the course that I'm studying. Because if you would even you'd see it reflected in the way we go for lectures. First year, I used to go for very many lectures. I would attend day and evening. But my graph has gone on dwindling to an extent that you find my friend Ivan is telling me we go for lectures, and I'm like, there is a certain deal I'm chasing in town.
Yes.
We shall meet in the evening, and by the time you're from town, you're exhausted.
Yes,
I tell him we shall read in the weekend. So it all translates. Now these are the things that we have to address. The vaccine is good. It is going to boost our psychology to say, at least now I'm a bit of protected. But it leaves the question still unanswered. The frustration, that question of what next. It is a question that goes on from the time I started seeing it in Form 6. When I was in Form 6, Makerere was graduating its students. I saw what next. I came to Chambogo in first year, that December of 2018. They said, what next? 2019, there was a lot of politics in there, but my friends still told me there is no future after campus. And I said, so this whole illusion we had when you're from campus, you come to the village and you're the local champion.
You scare villagers, but when you come in Kampala, you find you are competing with people like you. And we have no space. We come here, you already have an experience, I have no space.
Yes.
But when you go there, they look at you as a big person. You are completely offside in the pocket. You don't balance very well.
So, Robin, and everyone listening in, the truth is, the vaccine is good news to Uganda, to the youth, to everyone in Uganda. But whereas it's good news, it is not the most important news. It is good news, but it's not the best news. I think we thank God that He has provided that way out. But we still urge Him to give us another way out for the unemployment, for the frustration. Because by the time you see people coming up with such ideas as Stingy Men's Association, I've also had even women have gone to those things. It is bad for an African country. It is a reflection. It is a reflection of what is taking place in people's minds.
Yes.
It's not just social media fun, no. People who use social media are human beings. When they are putting up such organizations, it is a reflection that if you find there are 20 members in that organization, it means that is the magnitude. That's the magnitude it's having on the people's lives. So the vaccine, still as I was saying, is good news. Yes, it is going to solve part of the problems, the psychological problems, but the physical problems of I have studied the course. The company that I was planning to work for now formerly had 80 workers, now it has 20. They say that there are those who are essential, and then now there are those who are non-essential. Those things are going to stay. Now if you studied the course and you find that you're working in marketing, maybe they'll find someone who studied procurement, can market and can also manage the company. Where are you going to go? So that means the vaccine is good news, but it answers a bit of some of the problems, but leaves the rest unanswered. And the reason why we are here is to put our heads together and see how we answer those questions that the vaccine.
The only answer it gives is hope, but nothing else. There is no any other answer that provides. Just hope and you remain optimistic.
Yeah. Actually, one thing that I actually noted is well, we're looking at the youth problems, and I mean the vaccine should probably be one of the least solvers of these problems. And but of course, still looking at vaccination and COVID-19 and the vaccine, the youth were not even named among some of the beneficiaries of the vaccine anyway. So the way I look at it, I will jump on the wagon. Though GIFT has given us his in and his out. One leg in and the other leg is out. Youth problems definitely are many, and they have been there before COVID-19 and they are still there right now. Maybe if you could give encouragements to the youth that is listening in right now, what would you say to that youth?
Majority of the youth, my fellow campusers, youth from Mitoma and countrywide, don't be deceived that this COVID-19 vaccine is going to solve even any single problem minor. If you are willing to receive hope, that you will get hope. And in any case, you see, we are not even on the list when we are of being vaccinated. But if at all we are vaccinated, it is like you being sick, and then maybe they take you to the hospital. You think when you get better, then you are going to be rich and employed. No, these things all comes back to us. Let us ask ourselves questions and we answer them ourselves. What next? COVID-19 has come, it is true. Vaccination is in process, but we have been experiencing misery and suffering even before COVID.
True.
Only that now it has been more serious. Government has come in to say, if you have been maybe having problems in the whole of Uganda, now your problems you should start experiencing your problems in your room. Don't move to town. That is the only thing that now they are more serious. So please use your minds. Let us sit down and be innovative and inventive. We encourage and motivate ourselves. But this stuff of vaccination solving our problems, I don't encourage you to just rely on it. Otherwise, I wish you the best. Stay tuned to OBC.
All right, Percy.
What I would encourage or advise the youth to do, now that this vaccine has been introduced, we see the Minister of Health has taken a sample of it, but we don't know the results.
We are still waiting.
We are still waiting, and we don't know whether they will be positive or what. If they happen to be positive, that will be good. If they happen to be negative, we shall still see how to handle. But I would want us not to be deceived that this vaccine will solve much of our problems. Yeah? These are problems we've always had. They're not problems we've just had. And I think the vaccine will only work on COVID-19 and not any other problems. Let us keep focused. Let us see how we can handle those problems we have. Let us not rely on this COVID-19 vaccine. It is not going to employ us. We saw unemployment as one of the problems we have. And it is true. But this COVID-19 vaccine will not employ us. I've not seen any of my friends being employed to go and start vaccinating people. So it is not going to give us employment. We shall not be given free money because the vaccine has been introduced to us. We shall not receive any money. We shall not be given anything because of it. We shall just be given it. Let us either accept to have it or reject it. But we have to think about, we must think about ourselves as people and see how we can go about those problems we have, other than relying on the vaccine. That is actually less important. That is how.
All right. Thank you so much, Percy. And then finally, Gift, what would be your last remarks or your advice on, I mean, just basing on the whole discussion that we've had today?
Thank you very much, Laurie, and everyone listening in. My final comments to that would be, the truth is, the vaccine, as I've already stated, it's good news that we have the vaccine. And then the issue that the youth have been left out on the list of those who are going to be priority in the vaccination process. May I always look at things, whether it is a snake, I look at it as a tourist attraction before I look at it as a threat. So the youth being left out, may I see it as a positive way of telling us that the country believes that we are a resource to it.
Because that doesn't need to be tampered.
Yes, that doesn't, because we are not that vulnerable, and I am so happy that the people who are in charge of thinking about the destiny of the Uganda realize that we are a great resource. That's why they even know that naturally God has given us that endowment that we are strong in mind and health. That's why you see they have been saying we are targeting people 55 years and above. So it means the youth, may I take the youth from being the age of 0 up to, not 0, 1 day up to 35. So that means that gap of people, which is 78% of the population, the government knows that they are strong. They can handle even internally, they can handle the situation of the COVID-19. But I'm not saying that we should be reckless and stop putting on masks.
Yes.
Let's wear the masks, wash our hands, and do every other SOP that they have told us. And then finally, the problems that we have faced as the youth, especially those who are in the education system that I am in, and those who have not got the chance, it is just one thing, that you have to stand up and champion your cause. Because the truth is, COVID-19 only worsened the existing problems. They were there before it. Even if we got a zero prevalence rate for COVID-19 in the whole world, unemployment will remain there, because we know as the population grows, unemployment has to be there. Because every time you, for example, if a district employs only one chief administrative officer and you have 40,000 people in that district, not everyone is going to be a cow. So it means some have to be farmers, some have to be border riders, some have to be factory workers. So, but what I'm saying is, the population is not bad. The population is good. Its increase is good for our country, because it is also national pride. Nigerians feel so happy to find that they have a population of over 150 million people. So even Ugandans, if we can get to that, the better, because it increases market for our products and the labor force as well. So we, the youths, let's use this chance that even the government has given us by telling us that for us we are not a priority of vaccination, because naturally we have that capacity to fight COVID-19 within us by our immunity. Let's use that morale that they have given us to make a better Uganda for ourselves, positively and economically. Thank you, Rory.
All right. Wow. Great minds, great ideas. And I just want to say a very big thank you for gracing us this afternoon. I've surely learnt a lot. I mean, and also basing on what you have told me, I would say that you three definitely represent most of the youth. Your views that you've expressed here definitely represent most of the youth here in Uganda. And to you who is listening today, thank you so much for your company today. UBC Radio is where you have been. Don't forget to tune in also next Saturday for an exciting edition of Young and Smart. Don't forget to also follow